Well, hey there, buddy. How you doing? Come here. He's a timid cat. He wants attention, but he just wants you to touch him. Great citations. So I'm just sitting here running some numbers, and I'm looking at procuring materials for. Looking at procuring the materials to do the cabinets, the cabinet faces. And originally, just in the interest of simplicity, I was going to do it all in cabinet grade plywood and then do a laminate over top of that, simply because, you know, kids, and they're heathens, they're filthy little heathens. Well, I started running the numbers, and that's, you know, although that I think that's still a grand idea to do it with cabinet grade plywood. The plywood that I wanted to use was birch. So I had a pre-finished birch plywood, 3/4 inch, 4x8, $60 a sheet. Now the numbers suggest that I need roughly 5 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood to do all the cabinet faces, and also to do the to finish off the bunk area the way I want to finish it off. You'll see how my plan for the bunk area is going to come together, but basically one of those 5 sheets was going to be dedicated simply for the bunk area, and I figured, you know, might as well use all the same species. So, but at $60 a sheet, that's $300 just in plywood, and I still have to do something with the edge. Then I saw Bussy McBusface building cabinet doors for his bus, and I'm like, this guy is just, I think he's a paramedic. He's not even a carpenter. And he's freaking killing it. Dude could become a cabinet maker tomorrow. I mean, he's doing that good of a job. And you know, I know all this stuff, but I'm such a freaking hack that, and I'm basically lazy, and I'm looking for an easier way out. But I started running the numbers, and I like the look of his cabinets. They're just simple 1x3 frame with a rabbit cut in it, and 1/4 inch plywood as the panel. There's nothing ornate about it. It's just a simple cabinet door. And I'm looking at that and thinking, well, I've got a pocket screw tool. It's not a Craig, but I got one. I got a router table. I don't need to buy a dado blade for my table saw. I have a router table. I can do all the same things on a router table that he did to build his cabinets and his drawers. I went out and made a materials list the other day, and it comes out about the same money. I can build actual, you know, cabinet faces and drawer faces that actually look like cabinets and drawer faces. So I think I'm going to go that route. That being said, I'm still going to have to get some 3/4 inch plywood, but I don't need to use $60 a sheet birch when I can get away with, you know, 3/4 inch cabinet grade plywood, and that's what I'll use for the drawer faces, I think. But yeah. Anyway, long story long. I need to go to the Home Depot and pick up some materials for this stuff. I'm waiting on hinges and latches and pocket screws. I got another box of pocket screws coming, and gas struts for the overhead cabinets. But figured I'd go to the Home Depot and pick up some of the materials I need to do this. So I'll just go get the material today, and then I'll start working on the other stuff tomorrow.
1 hour later.
2 sheets of 3/4, 2 sheets of 1/4, 13 pieces of 1x3x8 foot, 3 pieces of 1x3x6 foot, $300. I tell you what, building materials sure have got expensive, and I had to go through the entire bin of 8-foot 1x3s to find 13 that were relatively straight. The rest of them, the ones that I left there, are probably better suited as barrel staves freaking crookeder in hell. I swear, man, if you're gonna charge $13 a board for 1x3 clear pine, it should be at least straight. But then it's just me. I'm kind of old school that way. What I want to do here in the bunk area is I want there to be a privacy wall that's going to serve two purposes. Number one, it's going to block out a lot of ambient light. Like if the kids are going to bed and the wife and I are still up watching Netflix or whatever, or a movie or something, or playing on the internet or whatever, there's a wall here that they can get behind to block out that ambient light. And also to kind of, you know, give them a little bit of privacy. So this bunk is long enough. It's a full mattress size. It's a little over 6 feet. If I had a tape measure, I'd show you. Oh, look at that. What a coincidence. I have a tape measure. Idiot. So the length of the bunk is little 80.5 inches. Most mattresses are 80. So a full-grown person could actually stay in here. But even me, I would have a hard time getting into the top bunk. Well, I don't think it would be that much of a struggle for a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old for that matter. I think my daughter wants the top bunk. I think that's what she said. She wanted the top bunk. This is my idea. So if I put, you notice each one of the bunks has their own outlet. There's going to be another one of these lights on its own switch in the ceiling of each one of these bunks. There's three, one at the bottom, one in the middle, top. If I put that piece of 3/4 inch plywood, we'll come up to here, right? So it's a little over halfway. And then I can cut little slots in here to create steps they can climb up. You know, it's really more for the top bunk, but they can have little steps that they can get up there. And that piece of plywood is going to support the actual bed frames from warping. But that's my plan for this, and then that gives them a little bit of a cubby to get into. And if they don't want to have any privacy and they want to see what's going on, they can throw their pillow down at the other end of the bunk, and they can look out, I guess. So that's that panel. It's actually we're looking at the bunk side of it. There's your foothold. And then I'll probably put a handrail up for the kids to be able to grab the handrail as they climb up. You know, they say the last 20% takes 80% of the time, and boy, that principle is being proved right on this project.
The next morning.
Oh, good morning. Well, I didn't get to Home Depot last night, so I got to go down there today and get my urethane. And I have my list. Yeah, 1x4x6 and some urethane. Okay. So I'll grab that. I can finish my toe kicks. That will be awesome. Get my toe kicks stained in urethane, and I can install those tomorrow. But I have to bring my saw indoors, methinks, because it's going to be miserable working out in that. Nobody likes to get sawdust all up in your orifices. Well, I got one side of that stained. And I need to sit for an hour, and I'll wipe it down, flip it over, and do the other side. Man, it's windy out there. Now I'm going to go measure that toe kick. I'll cut that and go get the other stain and stain that. And then by the time I get that done, this should be ready to flip over. All right, got a little box from the Amazons. Let's see what we got here. Little gas struts for the upper cabinets above one of the couches. These are not going to work for what I want them for. I thought they were going to be smaller. Yeah, they'll go in my hoard. I have these Acrimony RV home cabinet drawer lock latches to keep the drawers and the cabinet doors shut. Let me show you how these things work. So you got these two pieces here. One will get mounted on the drawer or the cabinet door. The other one gets mounted to the frame. And when they close, they latch together. And it takes a fair amount of force to get those off. So it should keep the doors shut and the cabinets closed while we're, you know, bouncing down the highways and byways. Got my hinges. Let me grab one. Just a simple hinge. All right. Looks like a 1/2 inch offset. Yeah. We got 60 of those. Oh, Ziploc bags. Love them. Yeah. Oh, those are tough. Not too bad, not too bad. Gazier. Okay. So I'll put these on the 3 doors that are above the couch on the driver's side, so that when you unlatch them, they open and they stay open, so they're not falling down on you. Hopefully, these are the right ones. And I got 2 per door, and there's 3 doors. And those are, I forget what the, I forget. I'll put links in the description to these pieces.
Meanwhile.
Now I wait for this to cure tomorrow. I'll urethane this, and maybe by the weekend I'll be able to put it in. But I'm going to urethane this before I install it.
By sheer coincidence.
That's working again. If you have one of these cheap Chinese diesel heaters, it's important that you keep the fuel line away from the exhaust pipe. Also, the clamp that came with this exhaust pipe to clamp it to the actual the heater itself, total garbage. it never got tight enough to clamp that thin piece of exhaust tubing to the body of the heater before it stripped the threads right out of the screw. So I just put a 1.5 inch stainless steel band clamp, you know, your regular hose clamp type clamp. This kind, only smaller. I put that on and cranked it down, and that seemed to work just fine. Oh! It's working pretty good. So, what I think I'm going to end up doing is getting a insulation material to go around this, and and maybe putting some kind of heat shielding around the fuel and the electrical to separate the heat source from those delicate items. Also, somebody asked me in the comment section how well that little diesel heater worked. Mine was advertised at 8kW, whatever that is, and most of them you see on eBay and such are 5, and there's some question as to whether or not they're not the same. They just have different fuel pump. I don't know. I don't care. As long as it makes heat, keep my windshield clear of frost, that's all I care. And I can tell you that that thing only was running for a couple of minutes, and you don't want to leave your hand in front of the discharge port. For very long, because that gets hot. So to answer your question, yeah, it works pretty damn good. Now, time will tell as to how well it works and how dependable, how durable it is, and how it'll work in the long term. But that's a direct rip-off of about a $1,500 diesel heater that's made in Germany. So you can buy 10 of those for what I paid for that one. So far, so good. Just got to make sure that you don't let the exhaust manifold or the exhaust pipe come off, and it'll just melt the freaking fuel line away. So anyway, I got enough of my jibber jabbering. I need this to make me a cut list. So that's how I'm going to finish my day today, is by making a cut list. And then tomorrow what's tomorrow, Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday, so tomorrow I'll start cutting the rails and stiles for the cabinet doors, and I haven't quite decided if I'm going to keep that same kind of design for the drawer fronts. I may just use 3/4 ply and just put edging on the plywood. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. But I want to build the cabinet doors tomorrow, and so I'm going to cut rails and stiles, and I did pick up another 100 count of pocket screws. So maybe I'll just work on cutting the rails and stiles, and I'll put them together when I get the rest of my tools on Thursday, if they show up. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. It's not like I don't have anything else to work on. I got a cooling system upgrade to film. I might do that tomorrow. I might go ahead and do that. In fact, I might do that tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You'll see in a couple of days. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Again, the last 20% is going to take 80% of the time. I don't know how to make this stuff that exciting, other than it's just throw your shoulder down and get to work. If you like today's video, smash that like button and share it with your vast social media network. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to this channel, and if you do, click the little bell icon that's right next to that subscribe button so YouTube will let you know the next time I upload a video. If you'd like to support this channel, the best way you can support this channel is to smash that like button. If you want to contribute financially, there's a few ways to do that. You can go through the links in the description to Amazon and buy stuff on Amazon, and if you go through those links, the channel gets a little bit of a commission. You can donate through the PayPal link, or you can sign up as a patron, and you can support this channel as a patron. Go check those links out, and if you can afford to contribute, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you can't, that's okay too. It just means we're probably related. So until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry, and have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.